Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookham here, and today we will be looking into the initial transformation of Sylvester Stallone for the first Rocky film, which shot him into Hollywood stardom, and in particular focus on his legendary one-arm push-up workout which he used to prepare for the film. Rocky was initially released in 1976 and changed boxing films forever, producing some of the greatest boxing scenes in movie history. This video follows from my previous video on Carl Weathers' transformation, where I describe his workout for the part of Apollo Creed. And it is interesting to note that both men were training at Vince Gironda's gym at the time of the filming for Rocky. Yes, for a time, Sylvester Stallone was a student of Vince Gironda, but he was soon kicked out of Vince's gym for instructing other members of the gym. Nevertheless, it is very obvious to see Vince Gironda's influence on Sylvester Stallone, especially when we see the kind of mass-gaining diet that Sylvester Stallone was using. When we look at Sylvester Stallone's physique in his 20s, we can appreciate his mass-gaining transformation better from his mid-20s to the age of 30 when Rocky was released. Sylvester Stallone was eating raw eggs, which was advocated of course by the Iron Guru and is famously shown in the movie when Rocky wakes up at dawn to begin his training and he sculls 5 raw eggs for breakfast. Sylvester Stallone, however, was not as cut and ripped as he would later be in the movie Rocky III, where he exhibited approximately 5% body fat, and he was to present himself at a higher percentage body fat, closer to 10% in the first Rocky film. Looking into his training, as mentioned, Rocky was not as cut as the later Rocky films, and this is reflected in his weight training, which was rather strength-based. Little known to most, Sylvester Stallone was already an iron addict even before the filming of Rocky. Sylvester Stallone's parents owned a gym when he was younger, and he had already developed an athletic physique. Although he had trained at Vince's gym with Carl Weathers, Sylvester Stallone wasn't at Vince's gym for too long, and he built his physique mainly from his experience and the early years of training he had already accumulated since starting at his parents' gymnasium. Here is a quote from Sylvester Stallone at the age of 22. Quote, "I had always worked on the physical aspect because I figured that my body was just a device to carry my brain around. But if I'm going to walk around, I'd like to have some nice equipment." End quote. For the filming of Rocky, however, Stallone wanted to appear very solid with a large upper body, thick arms and shoulders, and fast and muscular legs. Stallone began training for the role of Rocky Balboa 6 months before the filming began. His workouts consisted of early morning jogs along the Southern California beaches, followed by extensive gym training under the supervision of Jimmy Gambino, former fighter trainer who is actually seen in the film training Rocky at Mighty Mick's boxing gym. For anyone that has watched the classic movie, it is obvious that when we see Rocky's fighting style, Rocky hits Creed so hard that he rattles his body like the carcasses he was pounding at the meat house. Creed gets hit so hard that Rocky's punches literally lift and elevate Creed off the boxing canvas as he absorbs one torturous punch after another, with each blow shattering his ribcage and torso to the point where Creed, at the very end of the movie, exclaims, "Ain't gonna be no rematch. Ain't gonna be no rematch." Not much has been said about Sylvester Stallone's training from the first film of Rocky, except it is obvious from the fight scene and training montage that Rocky relies on both endurance and power. So relying on the few magazine articles I have found, as well as the training montage and the book Rocky the Ultimate Guide, we can begin to piece together Sylvester Stallone's training program for the first Rocky film and separate it into 2 categories, being endurance and strength training. Rocky's strength training that appears in the film is limited to one-arm push-ups, side-to-side push-ups, and clapping push-ups, as well as sit-ups. This scene alone, which had audiences going wild along with the song Gonna Fly Now, showcases Stallone's incredible strength and athleticism for the role of Rocky. The one-arm push-up isn't something that many people can do, as it is one of the most difficult calisthenic moves that exist in bodybuilding and strength training. The move requires extreme coordination and balance and supreme strength. Don't think that having a strong bench press will give you this ability, as it requires strong pectorals as well as strong shoulders and triceps, as well as core strength to keep your body straight while performing this feat. This requires both strong spinal erectors and abdominals, making the Rocky one arm a superior calisthenic exercise for building coordination and strength. A requirement in performing the one arm push-up would be to have the ability to perform at least 10 to 20 regular push-ups, clapping push-ups, elevated push-ups, side-to-side push-ups, and finally, you would be able to do one-arm push-ups. Briefly, to perform the one-arm push-up, balance is maintained by taking a wide and open-legged foot spread, placing the hand that you will be pushing up from in the middle and the other arm behind your back and thigh. Then, leaning down to one side, you sink down to the floor, keeping straight until the shoulder and chest touches the ground, then pushing up off the floor and twisting the body up. It helps to twist and lean the body in synchrony with each push-up, as it helps with the momentum of the move. Now, what is most incredible about the Rocky one-arm push-up is that, ironically, Rocky literally flies as he throws himself off the floor and lands on the other arm and performs flying alternate one-arm push-ups whilst Gonna Fly Now is playing in the background. Rocky's strength training, besides being impressive, definitely translates into devastating punching power in the film. Along with the push-up variations, we also see Sylvester Stallone performing hanging sit-ups for developing his core and weighted shadow boxing with bricks for both shoulder development and endurance. Having said all this, to balance out this workout, I would say that Rocky also performed either duck walking, maybe breathing squats, and different chin-up and pull-up variations such as regular chin-ups, side-to-side chin-ups, etc. And his workout in total would have looked something like this. To warm up, Sylvester Stallone would have performed a 3 to 5 mile run, shadow boxing. Returning to the gym, he would have begun with a combination of push-up variations, leading to sets of alternate one-arm push-ups, supersetted with chin-up variations to hit the upper body hard, followed by breathing squats with moderate weight and duck walking to finish leg training. Finally, several sets of hanging sit-ups along with body conditioning would have finished his workout. Looking at endurance training and boxing now. As mentioned, Sylvester Stallone would also train for endurance for the role of Rocky, waking up early in the morning to jog several miles before working out with weights. He would combine sprinting and stair climbs to vary the intensity of running and get a great cardiovascular workout. He would also incorporate shadow boxing whilst running and even perform weighted shadow boxing while jogging. Aside from the regular jogging and rope skipping expected of boxers, Sylvester Stallone also worked the punching bag and speed bag to zone in on his skills as a boxer. Finally, an unusual technique is seen in the film where Rocky is seen punching frozen carcasses, beating them till the ribs cracked, pounding mercilessly as if visualizing his opponent. Whether this was real or not, we won't really know, but it is clear to see that the combination of weight training and endurance training definitely resulted in Sylvester Stallone being capable of translating his strength and skill in the ring with the ability of delivering devastating power in each of his punches. So I'd hope you have enjoyed this unique and detailed discussion into the training techniques Sylvester Stallone undertook for the training of his role as Rocky in the first film of the Rocky movie franchise, and in particular his one-arm push-up workout. If you have enjoyed this video, please give the video a like, subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and please leave me your comments. Please also click the bell button to be notified of future videos, especially if you don't want to miss out on new videos from the 80s action heroes. Rocky's skills in subsequent films improved with his increased sophistication in his training, which we will continue to explore in subsequent videos exploring the training in each of the Rocky films. That's it from me. This is the Golden Era Bookworm saying bye for now. As a natural bodybuilder, it is imperative to know your own testosterone levels, as they are a reflection of the anabolic environment created by your diet and training. I would highly recommend using the male hormone test kit from Let's Get Checked, and make sure you use my code GOLDEN30 for a 30% discount. Again, the advantage of checking yourself regularly is that you will know how well your body is anabolically primed to put on the much desired muscle you are working for. Now, if you're interested in learning more about Vince Gironda's approach to bodybuilding, his principles, and all these tips of wisdom that he has, I mean, there's so much stuff that probably hasn't been proven by science, and it will take science to prove or disprove Vince, but to be honest, these 3 books, I believe, which I call the Classic Physique Bundle, are the best books that Vince ever came out with. And they, of course, are the Wild Physique, the Master Series, and the Pro Series. Have a look at it this way. The Wild Physique, I believe, is like the ABCs of Vince Gironda's principles to bodybuilding. He teaches you the exercises and his principles. But how do you put them together? Well, the Master Series is a 14-month program of using all of these principles, all of the diets that Vince came out with, all of the exercises. And believe me, it's a brilliant, brilliant program. Many people have used it. I know personally a lot of bodybuilders that have actually used it and made fantastic results with it. And of course, the Pro Series was a book that he came out with later on, specially targeted for getting into competition. It's just these 3 books, as I call it, the Classic Physique Bundle, Vince's best work, and available, of course, at www.goldenerabookworm.com. Now, the Pro Series of Bodybuilding, which was targeted for professional bodybuilders, contains 6 programs, each of which go for 2 months each. So it's a whole year, again, in preparation for competition. Online training is now available, including my new program, Novice to Classic, a program geared towards beginners and novices looking at developing a classic physique, as well as Classic Cut, geared at those who wish to lose weight and gain muscle fast. Details available at www.goldenerabookworm.com. Need a bodybuilding poster for your gym or office? Then check out Iron Man Magazine archive.smugmug.com for the highest quality posters on the planet. Scroll through the galleries of all the legends, including greats such as Arnold, Frank Zane, Sergio Oliva, Serge Nubret, Tom Platz, and Larry Scott, and much, much more, and select your poster now. To support your favorite YouTube channel, please visit teespring.com/stores/goldenerabookworm for merchandise, including t-shirts, hoodies, face masks, phone cases, and much, much more. Once again at teespring.com/stores/goldenerabookworm. Become a patron at www.patreon.com/goldenerabookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the golden era of bodybuilding.